Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. It is great to be back. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry for the small absence that we had. You can see there's a little bit of a change in scenery here, what production is looking like, and things are going to start improving in the near future in terms of quality and in terms of presentation. So thank you guys for all the OG fans out there that are watching now, but we're going to be making some improvements coming here in the near future. Now, if you're new or returning viewer on PLTR. We've been covering this stock for a long time, keeping up to date on the biggest news that's been happening within the stock, and also looking at a lot of the other AI stocks, and particularly doing a broad overview of the market. So hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. What we see here with PLTR is actually doing better than what we had with the market today. Market had a slight cool down after a few great days of rallying, and you see PLTR up about 2% in the after hours here. Right now in the after hours, testing a very key point of resistance right here at about this 25. Now you can see this 25 level right here, and specifically looking at 25.40, this has been a key resistance point that has been established after the Q4 results, and PLTR entered into this new areas of the mid 20s. You can see in terms of support, if we see any type of pullback in PLTR, looking at the 24 and where we've had some important reversals in the past at that 23.40, great reversal points at around that area. Tomorrow, what could be happening will be a big question in terms of what's going to be happening in terms of the market. In terms of options for end of the week for PLTR, what we see today is a lot of actually call volume at the $25 and the $26 strike price for end of week expirations. This tells me that a lot of people, institutional retail investors, are taking a bullish bet on PLTR by the end of the week. Now, we're going to be talking about one of the big catalysts for PLTR. We've talked about it before. It's something that really could accelerate this stock into new year-to-date 52-week highs, past the 2750, testing this area, and even possibly touching the 30s. We got to think of how successful PLTR has been basically trading this year. With the great news and what we've seen with their diving into the commercial revenue, PLTR has done a great job with their AIP bootcamp. And if you aren't familiar with AIP, basically this allows, with their bootcamp, allows possible clients to test their software for completely free. And they claim you can get a 0 to a use case here within 5 days. And we've seen AIP really accelerate PLTR in terms of revenue metrics. However, one of the big catalysts that we are going to likely see on top of the commercial revenue growth, that's something that we've been talking about for a long time now, is their actual possibility of S&P 500 inclusion. Why I say this is really going to be a great catalyst for PLTR is because I think it's going to come sooner than people think. I agree here with Investor Place. Every time there's going to be the S&P 500 quarterly review, people are going to be anticipating it, hyping it up. And Alex Karp, he's forecasting another full year of GAAP profitability. We have now 5 quarters of GAAP profitability for S&P 500 inclusion criteria. You need 4. So now it's just in terms of the board actually deciding which stocks are going to come out, and if PLTR is going to go in, which stocks it is going to replace. One thing that is really beneficial for PLTR in terms of its financial sheet is its competitive advantage. PLTR's IPO is only about 3 to 4 years. However, it's actually been a company for over 2 decades now. So the fact that they do have a hedge really shows you here in terms of their financials that they have a lot of cash on hand. And in terms of their operating income, and especially with their liabilities, they have nearly 0 debt. So the fact that they have a ton of cash on hand keeps me bullish, because when times do get tough, if we see any reversals in the markets, if we see different probabilities or actually different executions of interest rates being taken out, then we could see a big swing in the market in terms of volatility. PLTR has the resources and the cash to get through some pretty strong storms. So even though everybody is celebrating the higher highs that are being set every single day today in terms of the market, PLTR is ready there for that storm when it does happen. It's just a matter of when it does. And one thing in addition, in terms of earnings that we do have for PLTR, 16 bullish earnings per share revisions here in the last 90 days. We have earnings that's going to be coming up here May 8th, post-market. Still a decent amount of time before we really start doing some earnings analysis. However, The fact that there's 16 earnings per share revisions, we keep seeing Wall Street and these analysts that are setting PLTR to a higher bar. And one thing that they are doing with their earnings report is that they are continuing to surpass those expectations, continuing to beat the expectations. And this is why we're seeing great quarterly results and trading effects that follows those earnings reports. Now, like I said, we are seeing the NASDAQ here, the stocks that are starting to cool down and taking a breather from the record-setting run that's become the story on the Wall Street during the first quarter. We've really seen an acceleration across the market. We need to keep that in the back of our minds here too, specifically looking at PLTR, more of a speculative stock in nature. But however, like I said, a great bet on the AI industry as a leading competitor, and really here in the last few quarters, establishing themselves as a key player within the AI market. They are starting to become more of a strong, I want to say, oriented stock that people are really taking a look at. However, one of the biggest criticisms for PLTR, we've talked about it before, and I'm a Seeking Alpha affiliate. If you want to see all the information, a lot of the content that I get, check out my link down in the description. You get 20% off. But with that being said, one of the biggest criticisms for PLTR is, of course, its valuation. That's been the story across the board. However, we have compared PLTR to many different like stocks, SaaS, different stocks within its own industry. And a lot of these stocks right now, specifically AI stocks, are trading at a very high valuation. For example, just look at NVIDIA, sitting here at 925 and even hitting up here to this high resistance point of 970 in this area. NVIDIA could pass 1,000 here in the near future. This means right here that NVIDIA has been a big driver for the AI stocks to follow. And PLTR has been following it. And even one bullish thing that I do like today, as we did see stocks that had a little bit of a cool off, PLTR actually traded here in the green. So great to see that we are seeing positive trading patterns behind PLTR, momentum and energy that is staying in terms of a positive swing. However, for the value-oriented investors, what we are looking at is maybe it's not the best stock. But what I always say in terms of valuation, we talked about it before. If you're new to the channel, if you want to hear it again, if I bang the head over it with a hammer. Basically, with valuation, that is a barometer, that is a gauge for what the future earnings reports are to be expected. And right now, we are expecting future earnings reports, even with Alex Karp coming out and saying that, hey, we're expecting another fiscal year of GAAP profitability. This is a gauge that people are expecting PLTR to continue to be successful. And right now, this is a reason why people are willing to pay a premium for its price. We're seeing this across a lot of the AI stocks, especially as the demand is coming in here, as market share is trickling from a lot of the other industries coming into AI, as every company is trying to get involved some way, somehow, in some shape or form. So that's all really about to happen for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, coming back in. It's great to be back. We'll be, like I said, coming back with the daily videos, making videos as much as we can. We're going to be changing production a little bit, and things are going to be looking more improved for you guys. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later.